Protection by design. After selecting appropriate materials, the simplest and most effective way to protect a wooden building is to design it to eliminate or minimize negative influences on the material's natural drawbacks. This approach can reduce future repairs, replacements, and costs. Exterior wooden structures like cladding, posts, trim, balcony guards, stairs, and decks encounter moisture by being exposed to rain, snow, humidity, and groundwater. Wood swells when it absorbs water and shrinks when it loses moisture. When combined with oxygen, this creates perfect conditions for the growth of staining and damaging microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi, and insects. The best way to protect a building is to limit the wood's exposure to moisture by following two principles. Keep the water away from the structure, and if that is not possible, limit the amount of time that water stays in contact with the wood. The most important step is to protect the wood from getting wet in the first place. The most obvious way to do this is to use large, protruding building elements that act as a physical barrier against wind-driven rain, like large roof overhangs, canopies, cantilevers, metal caps, or any other kind of cover, which is especially important for decay-prone wooden areas such as end grain and joints. Rain splashing up from the ground can also be easily avoided by adding splash protection like plinth or rims with pebbles. Exposure to ground moisture can be limited by mounting timber elements on concrete piers or metal anchors instead of allowing them direct contact with the soil. When water exposure cannot be avoided, water needs to be released or drained from the structure as quickly as possible, and good ventilation should be ensured so that the material can dry quickly. An example is designing connections in a way that prevents water from being trapped, avoiding so-called water traps. Because untreated lumber end grains absorb more moisture than any other part of a wooden board, beam ends should not be placed in direct contact with walls or another piece of lumber, as this will prevent it from drying. Instead, they should be separated to allow better ventilation and quicker drying of wood. Next, 3 to 7 millimeter gaps between adjacent horizontal or vertical wooden boards allow the wood to swell and shrink without cracking and enable better water drainage and air circulation. An even better solution is to add a slope to horizontal wood surfaces that will help the water leave even faster. Vertical cladding can also reduce the possibility of wood rot and is easier to maintain than horizontally placed boards. Since insects require water and look for humid environments, protective design measures against moisture are also effective against insects. However, it is advisable to also apply chemical biocides and physical barriers beneath and around the perimeter of the structure to prevent penetration by foraging termites. The structure should be designed in a way that enables easy inspection of areas prone to infestation. Last but not least, all engineered facade solutions should be designed to allow for easy maintenance and consist of individual elements that can be disassembled and replaced without damaging the other structural elements.